Okay, in this video, Cheyenne Knight's golf swing. She's really gaining confidence out there on the LPGA Tour, so let's take a look here. So iron shot approach here, ball slightly below her feet looks like, but really good swing to look at. Very accurate driver. Her iron play isn't quite as good as her driver play, but let's see here. She comes back right up the plane on the way back. Lifts it a bit on the way up. There's a bit of a raise up move there, and maybe that causes some timing issues, who knows, for the irons, but when she starts down, definitely gets this thing planing beautifully, shallowing, and even though it's a little blur, we can really see that thing parallel to the shaft plane, and now really clearing out with the left leg straightening backward, hips totally open, and obviously the hands are above the plane a bit, so that could cause some problems for some club face control perhaps, but we'll see what happens with her swing on Sunday Scottish Open. She's definitely right in there. But love the lower body action where the left leg clears and straightens out. That gets the hips wide open. As long as she's transferring her weight enough, she'll get that compression to get those irons solid. If she's a little back on her back foot, then of course she can get some flip in the club face. Okay, looking at this driver swing in a minute, we'll really see what happens with her golf club coming through the bottom of the arc down here, how stable it is. But nice wide sweeping takeaway with that driver. Perfect turn. Hips right in between the feet. Like to see that. I don't like to see any lateral shifting in the backswing. And I like that spine angle behind the ball. Amazing width there. So incredible extension. Really helps the driver play to have that much extension. And of course, as she comes down, same thing. Turning inside the feet, not sliding forward, just turning. Obviously there's weight or pressure change into the front leg, but no slide. We know she's on a good plane. And with the weight that far into the toe of the left foot with the driver, she is clearing, she's behind it, but maybe that's one thing that also inhibits the irons without that weight, full weight transfer. Maybe doesn't get exactly the compression she always wants. But look at this club face coming through here. That is super square coming into impact, square at impact obviously, and after. Look at that club face. There is just no rotation, and she is up in that 80+% fairways hit, and you can see why. On plane with a face that stable through the bottom, and of course just keeps it going all the way through to that full finish. From this angle for a par 3 shot, we're here with an iron. Let's see what happens with this front leg. What's going on here? And where is that pressure? We know that's a good rotation back. A little lift move there at the top. We know that leg's clearing. This one looks pretty good. Not a lot of weight certainly pressing into the back foot. If we measured it, we could see exactly what's happening, how much pressure is in each foot here. And as long as she's getting enough into that front leg at this point, she can compress that ball. And obviously the club will track more to the left, which controls the club face more if she's getting more pressure on that foot. If there's a little too much pressure on the back foot here, and we can see that even in the blur, we can see that right arm twisting a little bit coming through, which can give you some control problems. Like I said, our greens and rig not quite as high as I would expect for someone who's 82% fairways. Another approach shot here, just beautiful angles. We can see that left arm extension, perfect wrist position at the top, which equates to a square club face. We watch the actual posture on the downswing. Like a lot of great players that are rotating, staying in that posture big time as she comes through. And this one here planing out really nicely with the hands back on the shaft plane. And like I said, for lines that good and such a competitor, such a good putter, it seems like just a matter of time before she really starts to make a name for herself out there on the tour. For any of you working on the sequence of your downswing, you can really see what happens with the hip and knee on the left side as she winds it back. Nice full hip turn at 45. Shoulders turning all the way to 90. Looks awesome there. In that first move, club is just barely at the top, or it's still almost on the way up when you see that hip pulling and the left knee moving. And that really makes it so that the body's in control and pulling the arms through, and that she's not using her arms to hit the golf ball. This shot here about 10 feet right of the hole. Like I said, in her case, a full commitment to the left side and full rotation through, and she's probably hitting a really good shot. One last look here with the driver, and we can see that with her, kind of like Henrik Stenson in some ways, where players sort of sit or rock back into that back hip a little bit. In her case, it's more of a sit-down move than a rock to the right. But could it mean at times where she raises a little and comes up and then back down? Could be. Timing issue. Like I said, we'll see what happens as she goes through this year. Of course, tomorrow at Scottish Open. But once again, just rotating. Love where that right arm is. If you look at that line where the right forearm is pointed at the ball coming down, that's a good indicator that the player can get on plane very easily. And because the club is upswinging with the driver, that left heel wouldn't have to always be on the ground. If her weight's a little more middle of her stance at impact, she can still rip a driver perfectly, hitting more of an upswing shot. Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Just a reminder, if it's your first time to the channel or if you've not subscribed yet, please do. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.